Old thinking? You mean like thinking that there are two genders? Old culture? Like being proud of America? Old customs? Like celebrating Christmas? Old habits? Like, I don't know, dating normally? All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Let's party. So, I just saw this from this weekend. Bill Maher on, his show Real Time on HBO, which is probably going to get copyright claims. So please do hit that like button if you want to send a super thanks. That would be great. But he seems to be finally coming around. I liked Bill Maher a lot when I was growing up. But then, just like so many other reasonable people, TDS. Trump comes down that escalator and just all reason goes out the window. But it seems like while there's many, many, many liberals who are still obsessed over Trump, Bill Maher seems to be coming back. He seems to be pointing out, and which we definitely need, people on the left pointing out the problems with the left. So let's see what he's got to say. Hopefully this doesn't get claimed. Let's see.
And finally, new rule, if you're part of today's woke revolution, you need to study the part of revolutions where they spin out of control because the revolutionaries get so drunk on their own purifying elixir, they imagine they can reinvent the very nature of human beings.
That sounds exactly what the wokeists are doing right now.
Communists thought selfishness could be cast out of human nature. Russian revolutionaries spoke of the new Soviet man who wasn't motivated by self-interest, but instead wanted to be part of a collective.
The collective, a fellow comrade, right?
No, it turns out he wanted to be on a yacht in a Gucci tracksuit holding a vodka and a prostitute.
I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Not standing in line all day for a potato. The problem with communism,
that's communism for you,
and with some very recent ideologies here at home, is that they think you can change reality by screaming at it.
Ooh, that's a bar. They think you can change reality by screaming at it. Doesn't work that way. Hashtag, what is a woman?
That you can bend human nature by holding your breath. But that's the difference between reality and your mommy.
Ha, got him.
Lincoln once said that you can repeal all past history, but you still cannot repeal human nature. But he's canceled now, so fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. Even Lincoln, who freed the slaves, canceled. They're tearing down statues. I mean, that's old news, of course. But how far does it go? How far does it go?
Yesterday, I asked ChatGPT, are there any similarities between today's woke revolution and Chairman Mao's Cultural Revolution of the 1960s? And it wrote back, how long do you have?
I mean, I'm trying to break this up with commentary, but like, exactly. You are just repeating history. Why? Because you have no idea. You don't study anything. You don't read anything except that which already agrees with you and tells you that you're a special snowflake and everything's going to be great as long as you're part of this message, part of this movement, so on and so forth. It's ridiculous.
Because, again, in China, we saw how a revolutionary thought he could do a page-one rewrite of humans. Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits.
That sounds familiar. Old thinking? You mean like thinking that there are two genders? Old culture? Like being proud of America? Old customs? Like celebrating Christmas? Old habits? Like, I don't know, dating normally? All of those have been upended in the last decade.
So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people.
Kind of like being canceled.
Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being. A lot of pointing and shaming went on. Oh, and about 1 million dead. And the only way...
1 million? Oh, in case you missed that, 1 million people. 1 million dead. Why? I don't know. For no reason. for no reason, for power.
To survive was to plead insanity for the crime of being insufficiently radical, then apologize and thank the state for the chance to see what a piece of shit you are.
It's terrible. This is
and of
terrible.
course, submit to re-education.
Oh, re-education, of course. You just have to ask about pronouns. You just have to understand, what do they call it? Stochastic terrorism or whatever it is. You just have to understand the patriarchy. You have to understand that intersectionality, all of these buzzwords.
Or as we call it here in America, freshman orientation.
Get him! That's all colleges have become. Indoctrination centers. I know that's kind of cliche to say, but it's cliche for a reason.
Listen to this story. There's a law professor at the University of Illinois, Chicago, named Jason Kilborn, whose crime was that on one of his exams, he used a hypothetical case where a black female worker sued her employer for race and gender discrimination, alleging that managers had called her 2 slur words, the type of real-world case these students might one day confront.
Right.
And knowing the extreme sensitivity of today's students, he didn't write the 2 taboo words on.
Tell me this is not going where I think it's going. Tell me this is not going where I think it's going.
The test, just the first letter of each. He was teaching his students how to fight racism in the place where it matters most, the criminal justice system. But because he merely alluded to those words, again, in the service of a good cause, he was banned from campus, placed on indefinite leave, and made to wear the dunce cap.
I mean, you would almost have to... It's barely even a joke at this point. Like, yes, obviously he didn't have to wear a dunce cap, but it's barely even a joke that people who have wrongthink become second-class citizens. And it's been going on for so long that you can't play ignorant anymore. You know that this is done to people. And so if you don't stand up, if you don't say anything, then I assume that you know it's wrong, but you're afraid. And you think that if you keep your head down, maybe they'll just pass you by. That's not how this works. You cannot comply your way out of tyranny.
No, not really the dunce cap part, but our American version of that. 8 weeks of sensitivity training, weekly 90-minute sessions with a diversity trainer, and having to write 5 self-reflection papers. A grown-ass man, a liberal law professor. If you can't see the similarities between that,
then you're blind.
And this, the person who needs re-education is you.
So, I mean, there's a lot that over the 4 years of Trump that Bill was just off his rocker, just completely out of touch with reality. But it seems like now that Trump is gone, he's able to become a normal person again. All this does is show me that TDS was real, a real thing that real people, especially Sam Harris, are suffering from. I guess there is a cure if you have the desire to understand the truth and reality of what's going on. But most people don't.
Yes, we do have our own Red Guard here, but they do their rampaging on Twitter. Here's a cute example from a couple of years ago. The banjo player from Mumford and Sons tweeted that he liked a book that apparently had not been approved by the revolution.
Yeah, that's Unmasked by Andy No, the person who, from Portland, tries to, and does very well, expose Antifa members and show that they are not just an idea, that they are very organized, and they are a terrorist group.
So, of course, he had to delete the tweet, then take time away from the band. Oh my God, you mean this could have affected Mumford and Sons? And then the cringing apology.
No, not the apology.
Understand the pain caused by the book I endorse. Pain from a book? Unless he hit the drummer over the head with it.
I can't even laugh at the joke. Like, it's a cute little joke, but it's not funny anymore. It's not funny that this is happening.
What happened to I can read whatever the fuck I want?
And see, the crowd is going wild. The crowd is going wild at all this. These are NPCs. These are not people who have thoughts of their own. These are people who just swallow whatever's given to them, and that is dangerous.
Don't worry, I'm a musician. It won't happen again. There was once a very different musician named John Lennon who wrote a song called Revolution. And people who didn't really listen to it thought it was a rah-rah call for revolution. No, it was the opposite. The lyrics are, you say you want a revolution? Well, you know, we all want to change the world. But if you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you ain't going to make it with anybody anyhow. There's a guy who understood how good intentions can turn into the insane arrogance of thinking your revolution is so fucking awesome and your generation is so mind-bendingly improved that you have bequeathed the world with a new kind of human.
And I, as an older millennial, 100%, this absolutely describes the millennial generation. There's so many of people my age who cannot even fathom that their worldview could even be slightly tweaked. They're just perfect. They know everything about everything. And it's disappointing. It's so disappointing. I thought we were going to be the ones to change everything. I was growing up and I'm looking at all these people, all the politicians want war and, crony capitalism and all of this kind of stuff. And I thought we were going to be the ones to fix it. Didn't happen. Not going to happen. Gen Z isn't much better. So I've got hopes in Generation Alpha. Hopefully by the time I die, I can see a better country. But even still, I just don't know. But it's not too late, guys. It's not too late. You just have to pay attention. You just have to stand up for things. You just have to speak out. But you have to do it. You can't just think it. Because those who think differently than you are speaking out. And they're speaking very loudly. So if you're okay being drowned out, then I don't know what to tell you. But for the rest of us, we don't want this. And we need your help. Guys, it is a scary situation, but we can make our way out of this. But it's up to all of us. So do what you can. Let me know in the comments what you want to do to help fight against the woke mob and all of that. Thank you so much for partnering with me. Make sure you're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern for the live party. Once again, I am your host, Lutch, a.k.a. The Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, I am out of here. Peace.